So when it comes to issues of pressure, maybe societal pressure or peer pressure, what most people will tell you is that you should just let the other person know your opinion, just speak up, let people know your opinion, let them know what you really feel about whatever it is they're pressuring you on. But I don't think this strategy is really, really effective, because a lot of times we give into pressure because we don't want to be the odd one out, because it's not easy to be on the side of the minority, right? I know that you can agree with me. So in today's video, I want to share with you what I feel is the ultimate or the only strategy to completely overcome peer pressure or societal pressure or any form of social pressure. So if you're interested, please continue watching this video. You guys, please ignore the noise. There's a lot of construction going on in the apartment above us, and I don't know when this is going to stop because it's been going on for days, and I know that I have to film this video. So please ignore the noise as much as you can. Thank you. Hello beautiful ladies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yemi of Girl to Mom, and this channel is all about inspiring you to own your life, live up to your potentials, and be your best self. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to completely overcome social pressures and also how to deal with the feeling of being the odd one out or feeling like an outcast when you decide to stick to what you know. So if you're new here and you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please click on the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss an upload from me. All right? Good. So I'm going to break this video into 3 parts, okay? The first part, I really want us to understand what pressure is really, really all about. And the second part of this video is going to be, the reason why you click on this video. You want to know the strategy to overcoming peer pressure. So the second part of this video will be focused on the strategy that I believe will work for you to overcome these pressures. While the last part of this video is going to be how to deal with the feeling of being the odd one out or being like an outcast when you decide to stick to what you know. In my own opinion, I feel like pressure is a part of our journey, is a part of our life, From the moment you are born, throughout your entire journey, you are going to face one form of pressure or the other. If it's not peer pressure, it's going to be societal pressure or social pressure or even the pressure that you put on yourself to be successful. So you are going to face one form of pressure or the other throughout your lifetime. For example, when a child is born, we have a lot of expectations from that child. So we expect that the child should walk at a certain age, the child should begin to crawl at a certain age. And that's because over time, we have seen a lot of children do these things at that time. So we feel like, oh, the child should be able to do it at this time. So if the child doesn't walk at that time, we'll probably want to help the child, want to aid the process. And you see mothers going to buy baby walker. You're going to buy baby walker to help the child, to assist the process, which means that there's going to be good pressure and then there's going to be bad pressure, right? Which means we have good pressure and then we have bad pressure. So how do we differentiate between these two pressures to know which one is good and which one is bad? I believe that good pressure will push you towards what you need. Now, the key word here is what you need. For example, a child needs to walk. You need to meet your basic needs. You need to meet your basic needs. That is why you might face pressure to study. You might face pressure to work harder or work smarter, whichever one. You might face pressure to do certain things just because you need to equip yourself to make ends meet. So there is that is a need, right? So good pressure will push you towards what you need, while bad pressure will dictate what you want and make it look like this is what you need. So let me say that again. Bad pressure will dictate, the key word is dictate, what you want and make it look like this is what you need. So for example, let's say you are somebody who wants to get married in the future. So bad pressure will come and tell you that you need to be married at the age of 30. So if a woman is not married by age 30, she doesn't know what is wrong with her, like she's a nobody, That is bad pressure. Yes, you need to be married, but you don't need to be married. Or yes, you want to be married. That's if it's what you want, okay? Yes, you need to be married if you want to, but you don't need it. You don't need to be married at a certain age. So anything that forces you to do something right now, dictates it to you that this is what you need. This is what you need. I feel like it is bad pressure. In my own opinion, I think this is the difference between the two. So now that we understand that there's always going to be pressure, there's going to be either good pressure or bad pressure. So let's move to the second part of this video, which is how to overcome these bad pressures. So the only way I feel like you can completely deal with bad pressure, let's say peer pressure or societal pressure, whatever pressure, is to move away from that situation that is pressuring you, the bad pressure, and move towards the side of good pressure. Because the truth is that in life, whenever you take away something from your life, whenever you get rid of something and you don't fill up that void, you are likely to go back to where you're coming from. So let's say, for example, you are in the midst of friends that, all of them are dating, and there's this pressure on you to really date at that time, even though you know that all the people that are approaching you, they're not really, nice people. They're not really people that you want to mingle with. But because everybody is dating and you feel like, oh, no, I'm not going to do this. And they're like, oh, you don't know what is happening. Over time, you are going to give in and then you're just going to go with the flow because you cannot give. We are human beings. Trust me, we are social beings. You will stretch yourself beyond your limits. It's just like a rubber band. When you keep stretching and stretching, over time it will cut. If you know that you are tired of people assuming for you, pushing you and persuading you to do things that you really don't want to do, then you need to move away from that pressure to the side of good pressure that will push you, that will encourage you towards what you need. Like I said earlier, you're just going to stretch yourself to the elastic point. Later on, you're just going to give in. Let me tell you, I've been there. We have done it. We all know. You can't say no forever. Over time, you are going to give in. I know that for someone watching, you might feel like, oh, but it's not as easy as it sounds, for me to move away from this bad pressure. These people are in my face. These people are my roommates. They are my colleagues at work. They are my parents. It could be anybody pressuring you to do what you don't want to do. Do you mean I should move away from them? What I'm simply saying is to disconnect from bad pressure and connect with good pressure. You can be somewhere, you can be in a place and not be connected to that place. Trust me, you can, it's possible. And when you disconnect from these people, just find a default response for whatever demand that they have or whatever expectations they have for you. So when somebody is telling you, oh, you are supposed to date at this time and you really don't want to, just have a default response like, oh, how about you give me some time to think about it? Oh, but I already made plans. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Maybe next time. Just let me know in advance. You can just have a default response for them. And because you are no longer connected to them, it is easy for you to easily say, I'm not interested. So if you want to completely eradicate pressure, just make sure that you move away from that situation, that environment that you are constantly being pressured. Disconnect from that bad pressure and get connected towards good pressure. So if you've watched this video to this point, let me know in the comment section, what is that strategy that has worked for you and has helped you to overcome peer pressure or societal pressure or social pressures? Let me just know. Or how do you deal with the pressures that you put on yourself? Because sometimes that can be a very big challenge. So now that you have decided to move or disconnect from the side of bad pressure towards good pressure, there's this feeling that comes with that decision. Because you've been connected in this place for so long, you've been friends with these people that pressure you, you've been in this society, you've been in this culture for such a long time that somehow you believe that these principles, these pressures, they are just true, like it's what you're supposed to be doing. You used to just quickly connect to the side of good pressure. It takes time for you to adjust. So during this period, you might feel lonely, you might feel like the odd one out, you might just feel like an outcast. So how do you deal with this situation? So like I said, I'm going to give us 2 pointers. The first thing I want you to think about is the fact that, social norms change, right? You know this already. Social norms, they change. They change. It's not news. I remember that there was a time that being thin was the in thing. Up until people like Kim Kardashian, Nicki Minaj started having, big back and big fronts and, things here and there. And a lot of people started adjusting their bodies just to fit into that. But before then, nobody was really buying into that idea. Now, the question I want you to ask yourself is, are you really willing to change as these things changes? Just because you want to feel among, just because you don't want to feel like the odd one out, are you willing to constantly change? So let's say you're somebody who used to have thick lips, but you're in the midst of people that are pressuring you and telling you that thin lips or small lips is the in thing, and you want to fit in. And then you go and you adjust your lips, and they change, and they see that, oh, maybe Kim Kardashian now has thick lips. They decide to have thick lips, and then you also need to now fit in again. Do you want to go and adjust it? And then maybe when they decide that, okay, this is not the in thing to do again, you go ahead. Do you want to constantly change as these things changes? Are you willing to sacrifice that much just because you want to fit in? Just because you don't want to feel like the odd one out? I just wanted to ask yourself that question and really, let it digest, let it sink inside you. Do you have that energy? Yes, you want to be happy. You think, you believe that being on this side will make you happy. But think about it. At the end of the day, when you keep adjusting your lips, even the lips at a point to get tired and tell you, sister, what's happening? What's happening right now? What's going on? What's going on with you? You know, you get tired. You are just tired and frustrated. And the happiness you went there for initially is gone, and you're just frustrated. So think about it. Do you really want to change as social norms changes? Now, the second thing I want you to consider is the fact that people will always move towards the side of excellence. So the people that are on this side, the majority, they are there because they believe this is the excellent thing to do. They believe, because of the social norms, because of the culture around them, they believe that big front and big back, because the successful people, the people they term as excellent, have these things. So they believe it's the in thing to do. But if you believe that, no, this is not right, this is not for me, I don't want to be facing this kind of pressure all the time. If you strongly believe that this is not for you, and I want you to channel that energy towards excellence. You know, channel that energy, hold firm to what you know, the side of good pressure. Channel your energy to being successful at that thing you believe to be true. Because trust me, people will always move towards excellence. I think I've said that already. They will be jealous of you. They will talk about you initially, but when you are successful at it, trust me, people will move from this side to your side, and you become a star in what you used to feel insecure about. Let me give you a perfect example. I remember that in our society, most of the successful women were mostly married women. So anybody who wants to be successful, who really wants to go after her dreams, they probably will not have anybody to look up to and say, oh, this person did it, maybe I can do it. But now we see people saying, oh, if Oprah didn't get married and she's still successful and she's still influential, maybe, just maybe, I can go after my goals. That is if the person doesn't want to be married, you know, if the lady doesn't want to be married, she now has somebody to look up to and say, oh, and that's because Oprah channeled all that energy towards excellence. Do you understand what I mean? So if you hold firm to what you believe to be true, even if every other person is, you know, giving into pressure and you are in the midst of that pressure, if you feel like you're going to be the odd one out, just remember that one day, when you become excellent at this thing that you know is true, people will move towards your side. And you want to be the pace setter. You want to be that star. You want to be the person that people will look up to and be like, if she can do it, if she is there already, then I have hope. Then I can do it. You know, so those are the two things I really want you to ponder upon. So the challenge for you this week is to take some time during the course of the week, analyze yourself, and check which is the dominant pressure in your life. You know, are you in situations, are you in areas or places where you constantly feel pressured, bad pressure, or the dominant pressure in your life is good pressure? Remember, the difference between good and bad pressure is the fact that good pressure will always push you, encourage you towards what you need, what you actually need, while bad pressure will dictate what you need, you know, what you want, and make it look like you need it right now. You need to do it right now. So check which is dominant in your life. So if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the video to get to more people. Please give it a thumbs up. It won't take your time. Just click on the thumbs up button, the like button. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me once again today. You are special, you are unique, and you are amazing, and I love you.